Hannah Hamilton's Horrid, Hullabaloo by Mary Anna Husler. This series is dedicated to all the wonderful Hewitt girls I was privileged to teach, with a special thanks to Savannah Rosen for her invaluable help. Chapter 16, The Doll Speaks. Hannah had given this a great deal of thought. The fact that she was a spirit would certainly work in her advantage, especially in social media. She had it all figured out, and she couldn't wait to share her plan with Grace. "You're going to do what?" Rather than amazed, Grace appeared worried. "I'm going on Facebook and tell everyone that Summer put that pink diamond in Beatrice's locker." "You can't use Facebook," Grace argued. "You need a password." "I had a password, and I doubt very much if anyone on Facebook canceled it, now that I'm dead." Hannah waited until everyone had left for the day, which was mere minutes. She saw Beatrice being yanked out of Mrs. Applegate's office by her furious father. His face was bright red. And a horrified and embarrassed mother, still dressed in gray sweats. Hannah wished that she could console Beatrice, to tell her that everything was going to be fine. But even if she could figure out a way to appear in front of Beatrice, she'd probably scare Beatrice half to death. Instead, Hannah marched straight over to a computer, Grace and Andrew at her side, and was momentarily stumped when she needed a password in order to turn it on. Andrew came straight to the rescue. He waved his hand and then announced in a hardened voice, "Don't you know that ghosts can affect electric currents?" Hannah didn't know any such thing, and she wasn't about to admit it. Instead, she logged into Facebook, and when she saw what was on her page, a wave of sadness enveloped her. Dylan was having a Christmas party. Where had Halloween gone and Thanksgiving? Taylor was posing in a selfie with her new puppy, a miniature pinscher called Dagny. Clifford and Jason had led their soccer team to victory, and they were now in the finals. They were all planning a New Year Eve bash, beginning with a sleigh ride through Highland Park while Hannah was dead. The only recourse was to try and make some sort of difference with the living, so Hannah began typing. "Beatrice Butterworth is being accused of stealing Summer Arlington's mother's pink diamond because it was found in Beatrice's locker. But I personally saw Summer put that diamond in the locker. She doesn't want to compete with Beatrice in the fashion contest." "What good is that?" Andrew, as usual, was skeptical. "The only people who are going to see this are your friends, and they won't know what you're talking about." Hannah hadn't thought of that, but Andrew was right. Someone from Anna Academy had to post it. She turned to Grace. "Will you share this with your friends?" "I haven't used Facebook since I died. It's probably not even active." "You could try." "I have a reputation." "What reputation?" Andrew asked. "You're dead." "All right," Grace agreed, but not happily. It didn't take long for the reaction, which Hannah had expected. She heard them before she saw them, and the moment she entered Mrs. Applegate's office, she knew exactly who Summer's mother was. She looked like a doll who had suddenly come to life. Her face was shiny as though it was made of plastic. Her long blonde hair was wavy, and Hannah was close enough to see that extensions had been clipped in. She was wearing a lot of makeup, which made her appear tan, although her own white, pasty skin shone through. Her tight bandage dress was low-cut, and she was dripping in jewels, a huge yellow diamond on her finger, a gold necklace resting on her exposed chest, a ruby bracelet encircling her wrists. Summer's mother might resemble a doll, but when she spoke, she sounded like a witch. "This entire matter is absurd." She actually spit, missing Hannah by inches. "Are you aware that the original post was actually from a dead girl, someone by the name of Hannah Hamilton?" "Yes, I know." Mrs. Applegate cowered behind her desk, obviously unnerved. "The girl has been dead for months." Has it really been months, Hannah thought? A girl from the other side of town who fell down a flight of stairs in a condemned property. Who knows why she was there? Obviously a troubled girl. "I'm not troubled," Hannah protested. "And this other girl, Grace, whoever, attended Anna Academy. But the poor thing was sick more than she was well. It's obvious what happened. Someone is impersonating these dead girls. At best, it's creepy. At worst, it's a crime." Hannah wasn't quite sure how it happened, but it was clear that her brilliant plan had backfired. Well, at least she had put the thought in Mrs. Applegate's mind. Maybe. When she heard Mrs. Applegate's conciliatory apology, Hannah floated back to the deserted library. Life was going to go on without her, and there wasn't much she could do, even with all her ghostly powers, to turn things around. She stood by the dollhouse feeling discouraged and lonely. She tried to pick up one of the little dolls wearing the little pink sheath, and then she remembered she could only move it. She touched it gently. "You can't win," a little girl's voice came from the doll. It startled Hannah, and she backed away. "You're not strong enough," the little girl's voice taunted her, "or smart enough, or dead enough." For a few petrified moments, Hannah could not speak. "I can win. I know I can." "Never!" The voice had changed now. Instead, it was the voice of that horrid man who kept appearing to her. Maybe he was right. Maybe she couldn't win. But she had nothing to lose by trying. She had already died once.